Welcome, everybody, to the Let's Go Crunch podcast, part of the Land Media Group. I am Ethan Greenberg. Alongside of me is Andrew Hagenbaugh and the head coach of your Cleveland Crunch, Coach Antonio Manfut. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Really do appreciate it. How is everybody doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I mean, could be better if we didn't go 0 for 3 in sports in Cleveland today, with, me and you with Spurs, Ethan, and the Browns and the Cavs. Things could be better, but you know what? It's always better when we're talking about the Crunch because at least there's one team in this city that can actually win a game.
Absolutely. Coach, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, hit the nail on the head too bad there wasn't a crunch game to relieve all of our pain today. So I guess we'll have to wait till next week for that. But yeah, weekend going really well though. Excited to get back with the guys this week and get ready for our game next weekend. So nice relaxing weekend for us. Doesn't happen too often, but we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a little bit of a break. You had a really great game over in Lansing, taking on Red Cedar. A dominant performance in the opener for you this season. What was the good, the bad that you saw from the team in the opening game?
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting just to get back out there, and the energy was great, and just kind of with the guys. And we talk about it all the time. It's tough when you got to kick each other for a month and everything like that without playing anyone else. So we are just definitely excited to get out on the field against another opponent. And it's always fun to look forward to the first game of the season. Yeah, dominant performance. I thought we did really well. There's a lot of things we still got to touch up on. I was able to get some younger guys some time in that game, which is always great. And Red Cedar came out with a little bit more energy than last year. I know that obviously it's a tougher game for them, but overall I think they made a lot of changes in their roster and from their years before. So it was pretty good for them as well. I know they won their first game, so we came in with the mindset can't take anyone lightly, and we put the foot on the pedal and made sure we took care of business.
Yeah, and I just wanted to go over this because if people don't know about your background, I want them to know about that. So first of all, now you have a business, Antonio Manfut Skill Training, and
Yes,
can you
sir.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, I just done some sessions today earlier in the day, but I do a lot of private training and small group training with younger and youth players, as well as I train actually a couple college and our professional players when they're off season and stuff. So a lot of private training and stuff from my side. I think I have a lot of knowledge of the game and stuff, and I'm pretty confident on my still playing ability. So anyone ever looking for training or anything like that, would love to work with anyone and share my knowledge of the game and pass it on down. So, yeah, I'm very blessed and happy that I'm able to do what I love for a job. So it's great.
That is, it makes it such that you if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, right? Isn't that what the old saying goes?
That is exactly right.
And you had a heck of a playing career. 100 goals and 60 assists in 177 games. 12, if I counted right, 12 seasons between the MISL and the MASL. You were part of the U.S. national futsal team, 12 caps, 2 goals, 1 assist, and you represented the USA in the IFA Futsal World Championship. You were the MVP of the finals in a win over Australia with a hat trick. That had to be pretty darn amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you give me goosebumps thinking about all the stuff. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I still think I got stuff in the tank here, but yeah, no, I very much the small side, like I mentioned earlier, small sided games, I think perfect fit for me. Like I said, indoor, I love playing in tight spaces and real technical. And futsal, I love futsal. I'm actually I work with my local club here, Cleveland Force. I'm the futsal directors. They're trying to grow the futsal game as well around Northeast Ohio. So yeah, I've had an amazing career. I feel like I've traveled the world. I've done some amazing things, and I don't think I would be able to do any of that kind of stuff without soccer. So I'm very happy and blessed I was able to take advantage of those opportunities and have a good playing career. And like I said, now it's into the coaching, maybe sneak in a game here and there and stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Are you starting to feel your age at all?
My age? What age? Someone thought I was 24 the other day. So it's great. I'm 31 right now, and I still got it here. So we're all right. Got to get some fitness in. I've been enjoying football season a little too much, so I gotta get back into the shape a bit.
Me too, as well. And you talked about coaching. You were coach of the year in your first season, on the way to the Crunch, winning a championship. I mean,
yeah.
that was amazing to be coach of the year and lead them to a championship in that first season. Why don't you, just kind of, you can reflect on that.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's my mentality. It's just crazy thinking about, even right now, just thinking about how I'm kind of a coach of players even that are older than me, and just of a professional team. I think it's definitely in my plans and stuff. But it's pretty cool that I'm able to do it now, and especially for the Crunch is my first opportunity, and it's amazing. Like all of us were watching the Crunch back in the day, and seeing all these great players and coaches and everything for them, and now to say that I'm able to be the head coach of it and stuff is amazing. And I definitely prepare differently. A lot of things you see differently from the sidelines and everything like that. But that first year, I was nervous a bit for sure. Like I said, coaching older guys, but I know them. A lot of mutual respect between me and the guys. I played with them growing up. We actually won a national championship here in Cleveland with AFC Cleveland back in the day in 2016 with some of those guys and stuff. So we have a good relationship with them. And I very much enjoy it. Like I said before, with my knowledge of the indoor game, I think it took their game, which I think was unbelievable before then, to another level, just because we have such talented players and they were doing so well, obviously before I was there, just because they're so talented. And I think a combination of actual learning, like really good indoor, the movements, the rotations, and combining that with how great of our players we have around the area now, it was a perfect fit and a perfect match. So ended up being a fantastic first season. I think I personally had 3 goals myself, was to win obviously the championship, win coach of the year, and then first place regular season. I think all those were checked off in the first season. So I think that was, again, it's very hard to duplicate as you see the next year. But with that being said, hopefully it's another goal. All 3 of those are a goal of mine again this year, as always. So I always have high hopes and looking for another repetitive season for that. Same goals right there.
Yeah, no. And the one thing I wanted to ask, because like you mentioned, you played in the NPSL, you played for AFC Cleveland, you won a championship there too. What's kind of the transition now going from being a player, not just in an outdoor setting, but moving to an indoor setting just as a player, but also as a head coach too? Because like you said, things are really different going from an 11v11 setting to a 6v6 to a smaller, more condensed area. So what's the differences between playing at a high level outdoor wise and indoor wise and transitioning it to being a head coach?
Yeah, so just the difference in playing wise, I think indoor futsal, small sided games, I think all the youth players should be playing that at a young age. In Brazil, they don't play outdoor, I believe, until they're 13. They just do indoor and futsal, or not indoor, but futsal, just to work on the technical side of the game. And I remember my first year, I think I went to this is show my age a bit right here, the Rochester Rhinos preseason a bit. But it was right after my indoor season. And I just remember coming out there, and it's a USL team, pro team. And I was like, wow, this is like kind of easy because there's so much space. I have so much time. There's not a guy in my face right away when I get the ball. So I believe in indoor small sided playing wise is like takes your game to the next level, especially technically wise, and just decision making, how fast everything is, and it slows down. Everything's a little bit in slow motion and stuff as you go outdoor, just because you're so used to playing in such small spaces. So that's definitely the biggest thing, and I would definitely advocate for futsal and small sided for all the youth players growing up. And then coaching just it's completely different. Like I said, I have to go into my own little locker room. I plan things different. I got to manage other players and not worry about my own routines and kind of one thing I actually pride myself on. I hopefully the players will say the same thing, is that I manage them well, like individually. You can't talk to everyone the same. You can't. Not saying that you treat anyone with special privileges or anything like that, but there's definitely ways that I'm sure Miles Garrett gets talked to versus the guy on the bottom of the depth chart kind of thing. So just different things all through it. And I think I manage the players pretty well and I hopefully get them to play to their best of abilities and stuff like that. So big differences in all different kinds of ways and stuff. But the biggest thing, the advocate for futsal and small sided, biggest thing would be fantastic for all the youth players to start it.
Right. Now you brought about a couple of questions that I had. So first of all, you went to, if I've got this right, let me make sure I've got the biography information correct here. You went to this place, Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, I think some people might have heard of that for a little bit.
They might have. They might have. But Angel, he asked, about possibly needing a punter. Do you know a guy, a kicker? Because you kicked Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary. Like, I mean, how crazy is that you were playing football at Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary? I know that I read a story that, you're familiar with or have met LeBron James when you were there, and just thinking about the Cleveland sports landscape.
No, I mean, Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
No, I just you bringing that up and stuff. I wish every high school kid, and we thought we were so cool and everything, like we're like your stuff doesn't stink or all that kind of stuff. But um, he was there all the time. Actually, he was there. I think he was building the new gym that I think he goes there and used to train there at least all the time in the summertime. But they were building that, so he was always there doing some kind of workout, some kind of things. And we saw him like kind of on the regular. But it was really cool when you get to see and people who actually like didn't take pictures with him and stuff like but I'm like, man, I wish I took all the pictures every single time I saw him, because I was like, I got like one blurry one of us posing playing football. It was actually a lot of our football games, and I wish I just took a lot more and just, but I used to think, I don't think he remembers me now and stuff. I used to think that if he saw me, he would remember me and stuff, but I don't quite think so now. But I just have this one cool story though. I remember we were playing at university or something like that, and I was playing really well. I just kicked, so I think kicking is kind of easy personally. But for me, I don't know how people miss so often. I think I missed one field goal. I think I might have had. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I had like the best percentage for the high school. I don't know if it's still there or not, but
I think you can make the Browns now. Easy. I really think you might make the Browns one of these days.
Yeah, 100%. I honestly think I might try out sometime. We'll see. But I just remember I was kicking the game in it, and I made a field goal, and then someone like hit my butt, like kicked my butt, like kind of hard. I was like, yeah, what the heck? And I turned around and was like, oh man, it was Brian, and he's like, hey man, you kicking the? Can I cuss? Is that not allowed?
Yeah, let's try.
I didn't say this. Brian said this though. This is from Brian. He goes, hey, you kicking the shit out of the ball today? I was like, well, hey, thanks, man. But he's like, I was wearing Adidas. He's like, you need some Nikes on your feet though. I was like, well, maybe when you send me some. He's like, all right, I got you. And he never sent them, but I'll text him and make sure and see if he sends it to me sometime. I think he lost my address.
He probably did, but also, kind of funny. And I know this is going to go take a left turn here. You talk about, you'd think he'd remember you. What about when LeBron kind of went off on Windy?
When was that? What happened there?
Drew, do you recall this a few months, like maybe last spring? He was like, I don't owe him anything.
Yeah.
Windy. I went to college with
Windy.
Windy.
Oh, yeah.
Windhorse, yeah.
Windy.
His mom was one of my teachers. That'll also show my age. His mom was one of my teachers over there.
Yeah.
And I remember she was talking about him. She was talking about him all the time about like being a part, like doing this. And he wasn't like big time yet. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then this guy's all over the place now. He's like huge. He's fantastic and stuff.
He really is. Now, wait a second. Mike, over in the UK, he needs you to come over to N17 to replace Rich Arlison. we're Spurs guys here. I'm by birth. My dad is from England. Up the
tune. Sorry, up the tune. Newcastle, my boy.
That's all right, man. It's all right. So when you talked about traveling. Now, it's my understanding that Tommy Tanner lost you when you went to Syracuse.
Tommy Tanner is an amazing guy. Tommy Tanner is awesome. I love Tommy. He gave me a fantastic start to my career. And actually, I think subject off topic, but now that you mentioned Tommy, he's an unbelievable guy. I don't think he should have kept me my first year. I think I came in thinking my stuff didn't stink, and I was real cocky and everything like that. And I got a slap in the face of how like pro indoor is actually supposed to be learned. And that's one of the guys that I learned so much from. And that's how like I'm teaching the guys now and everything like that. But Tommy's a fantastic guy and Cleveland guy actually from the Crunch days and stuff. So yes, he's unbelievable. So great guy.
He is. And what are your recollections of the Crunch from back in the day? The big thing is now, I mean, this is fantastic. This year, you guys are going to play all your home games at the Wolstein Center, formerly the CSU Convocation Center. Just what were your favorite or best recollections of the Cleveland Crunch and indoor soccer in Cleveland in the area?
I remember my parents have some funny stories actually and stuff, but I just remember my dad catching one of the balls that they scored, and I don't know where it's at now or anything, but I just remember that was the coolest thing. Like he snagged it. Like my dad's not very he's like my height and stuff, but he got hands. He's a Marine, so he's ready to go at all times. And he just snagged this flying, but it was awesome. That was one of them. I remember I have a picture of me and my buddy with our extra long jerseys and stuff on the field, soccer fields at halftime and stuff like that. And indoor soccer, these are things you can ask anybody around Cleveland. And I swear they'll never forget these kinds of things about the Cleveland Crunch. So it's awesome that we're going to be back there. And actually, I don't know how to turn my camera on right now, but I'm going to show you something really funny real quick. If you don't mind me.
Yeah, go ahead. No, absolutely.
Real quick, I'm in my basement in a little bar here, and actually got this guy right there. If you guys can see him, do you know who that
yeah.
is? That's
Yes.
It's
Otto.
Otto Orff, yeah.
Otto Orff bobblehead. That thing got some dust on it. That thing's classic. There's me in a Baltimore Blast jersey. That was like
Oh
Christmas gift
no,
also.
Baltimore
But
Blast. Come on,
yeah,
man.
actually, I'm gonna actually paint over that, and make it a crunch one because
As you should.
my stint there wasn't the best, but that's all right. And then actually this one here, this is, I don't know, you can't really tell, but this is a force one. This is the crunch, but this is Neto, Adato Neto.
Okay,
If you guys remember him at all.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Mhm.
I was back in the day. I was back in the original Force days. Watching them at the Coliseum with Oscar V and Dennis Mepham and Carl Valentine, Craig Allen. I'm showing my age here. Back in the day, but of course, then following along with the Crunch when they moved to the Wolstein Center or the Convo, and I was there at the championships. I think in in '95 and 97. There are something. There were two of them that I was at. I do recall that. How do you balance things? You talked about being a coach, and I think you mentioned one of the other coaches in this town, and how they treat their players. How much pressure is there when something doesn't go right to give an explanation for what's going on? Because I'm sure, Drew, what is Kevin going to say about the team's performance today? What's his line going to be?
Could have done better, we'll work on it.
my
I'll get
fault.
better. Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah.
We got to do better. No, but how do you balance that, Coach?
So it just first thing I thought it was my very first ever game, and we went to Grand Rapids and we lost, and I was just sitting on the bench like at the end of the game, like what the heck, like I'd have not just by myself afterwards and everything. And I was like, man, this is just tough. Like even right now, just thinking of it, like I don't know like how we're gonna. Obviously, we picked it up after that and did some thinking and made some planning and everything like that. But from just balancing everything out is just like I said, looking back at film, watching things we can work on, nipping things in the butt right away. Like I'm a stickler. Like I'm not quite a dictator or anything like that, but I'm real strict on how these guys need to do because it's different. That's the difference between winning a championship and not winning a championship. As you can see, like we almost got there the second year as well last year and stuff, but it just indoor soccer. I think it's a perfect combination of the way it would be soccer and hockey. I think it's a really good explanation of how it is. And you see in hockey, like the thing goes under the keepers, like the tiniest little crevice, or bounces off someone's shin and goes in. That's just how indoor soccer is sometimes as well too. So it's the little details. And if you do something repetitively over and over and have the professionalism and the culture of it, I think that's something that's very, very important. So as a coach, I really try to instill that kind of things. Like everyone, if someone wears the wrong color socks, we're doing push-ups, everybody, to be completely honest, because it's from the culture, from the little things like that to make a championship organization work. So I'm all for it. And as a player, it's funny because I don't know. It's funny because as a player, I wasn't like the most like strict everything. I did everything I needed to do as a pro and everything like that. But I don't know if I'd like me as a coach, how strict I am with some of the guys. But it works, so I'm gonna stick with it right now.
Yeah, but you know what though? I agree. I think the nitpickiest you are, I think the better the team is going to be, because I've had some pretty horrible coaches, but you know what? We won ball games, and so it works. Yeah. But going to looking over film and stuff. I know you said you look for those little details, especially in indoor, because it's such a fast paced environment. It's it's hard to catch things really like quickly. When you're watching. When it comes to being a head coach, especially in your first couple seasons, how fast can you see things that you need to change almost like instantaneously? Like I know, like you said, things happen at a moment's instant. Like something can happen in 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. How quickly do you grab something and be like, hey, listen, we got to change this up really fast? Like,
yeah, no, I mean indoor, like there's quarters, there's everything's fast paced. You shouldn't be on the field more than like a minute to minute 30. I think that's even a long time. Just things are so fast, and I just remember, quick little side things. I just remember my first years with Tommy Tanner at Syracuse Silver Knights. I wasn't signed yet, so I was training, doing everything day-to-day basis, training every day, 3 days a week, 2 days, all these things. And I remember like I had to watch from the stands though because I wasn't like there yet. And I just remember signing, and I went to my first game, and I didn't even play much. Or I might have just been the door guy. I might have even just been opening the door for the guys, to be honest. But I just remember watching it from up top and then being like eye level, like at the actual field, like is crazy different how fast everything is and how much different it is actually being on the field. So you got to make those adjustments right away. If someone has a couple of bad shifts and I might have to sit them. I was like, hey, you're going to hold this next shift. He's going to take the next one, or just, you got to do it right away because things are on the fly so much. And one thing I think is very valuable are timeouts, and just sometimes you need to slow the momentum down. Actually, sometimes you just need to get everyone under control, or just make sure the highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too lows, and things like that, and kind of keep everyone that way. And I'm speaking for myself. I need to do that sometimes as well. You see me on the sidelines, so maybe I should take my own advice sometimes. But no, everything's fast paced and everything needs to be kind of done at a moment's notice. So always ready for it though.
Right. And now we did have thank you, first of all, for everyone who has tuned in. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Again, this is the Let's Go Crunch podcast, part of the Land Media Group. We are here with coach of the Cleveland Crunch, Coach Antonio Manfut. And this was just a question in the chat. How would you help a player who played a lot of outdoor transition to the indoor? I think you kind of, you cover this a little bit with Drew's question, but is there anything specific you could tell them, like, hey, this is the first thing you should try and do to adjust to the indoor game?
Yeah, I love that question. I'm so happy you asked it, because a lot of players of mine, a lot of people that I know or whatever, because I was in the crunch, so everyone wants to kind of push their guys for me, so I get to look at them. And outdoor and indoor is 100% different game. And I said, it's not indoor though. That's all I say is, like, it's not indoor though. So everyone's like, oh, this guy's amazing, this guy's unbelievable and everything. I'm sure they're fantastic players and everything like that. I'm sure they are. But indoor is literally a completely different animal. I mentioned how I got like kind of smacked in the face of how like you need to do things in indoor. Like everyone's here is grown up playing indoor, outdoor. Like I just came from coaching my youth kids in indoor today with boards and everything like that. But it's not actual organized. There's not utilizing everything that needs to be done. So people might say that. But when you come and play indoor, and same thing with futsal and everything, like I said, these small sided games, the pass is already traveling before the guy's even there. Like the pieces are like moving chess pieces. And if you're not there, you're going to mess yourself up or your team up. And a lot of players can't, not saying they can't adjust to the speed of it, but just the rotations, the movement. You need to be at these places at these times, or you're not going to work. You're not going to play. Like that's 100% it. So I've had a couple people come from outdoor teams, and they've gotten 100 things on their resume and all that stuff, but they might not be a good fit for indoor for whatever reason. And then vice versa, you see some indoor guys that go out there, I'm like, man, you kind of stink. Like, you kind of stink, dude. Like you're really good at indoor, but man, you actually can't play soccer. It's kind of crazy. So it's very, very different. There's so many different attributes. This guy Neto I talked about earlier, I actually watched him growing up playing for the Force and Crunch. And then I actually was blessed enough to play with him on the futsal national team, and he got called up too. But I just remember he was like towards the end of his career, he was bigger, like kind of thicker, and there's no chance he'd be able to play outdoor. But this man was probably one of the best target forwards, hold up play, smart, knows exactly what angle to hit the boards, and that's another thing too. But it's just the attributes are so different. I don't need a super big, strong, big guy that can, like a horse, like that doesn't really work for indoor all the time, So just in the boards as well, like the angles of the boards is like crazy for, I think Tommy actually remember telling me that it takes like a whole season or a year and a half to like actually know the walls, the boards, the runs, all these kinds of things and stuff like that. So it's completely different. And very happy you asked. I can go on about that all day, because people try to bring me players all the time and like they can't play indoor, or they can, or it just works out. So
well, it's a different beast. It's a different beast. And I think that you talked about getting to know the boards. And I know, like you said, you talked earlier comparing it to hockey. And I've watched hockey in different places, traveling and broadcasting, and you get to know your own boards and stuff. You might have different size fields too at different arenas. There's a guideline, and even across the pond on the pitch, whatever it is, like here's what it has to be at minimum, could be a little bit larger. How does that affect the game plan if you do have the field where you've got a larger arena and field to play pitch as opposed to another team?
Yeah, no, that's a big factor as well too. There's in the league that I used to play in, there was two teams that had really, like, I'm talking like tiny fields, and you can score from almost your own yellow line kind of thing and stuff. So I personally think that game's a bit more sloppier when the field's a little too small, not too small, but small like that, just because there's not a lot of space for guys to go, and kind of things are, like you said, times that speed, times the small field, like that thing's like a pinball all over the place. So that definitely determines the factors and stuff. And you'll see us playing at the Wilson Center this year versus the Sportsplex, and it makes a big difference, right? Just because of the dimensions, you're not used to the run so much. Like I said, I need to be at this place at this time, but now I got to run 10 more yards now, or I got to track back 10 more yards, or do a little bit farther and things like that and stuff. And now again, another big thing is the ceiling. There's no roof there. It's going to take a while to hit something out there. So now the balls that we're used to hitting high up and it gets called for a yellow line right away. Now they're not. Now you gotta be prepared for that kind of stuff too. So a lot of things going to the sides of the fields and the dimensions and everything like that for sure in indoor, most definitely.
Right. And just to let people know, the tickets are on sale. The home opener is January the 10th when you will take on the Chicago Mustangs. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
very much looking to get your tickets now for sure. It's gonna be a great return to the Wolstein after our result last year and stuff. So we'll be definitely looking for lots of goals to and celebrate with our fans there. So everyone get their tickets for sure.
Right. Go to theclevelandcrunch.com/tickets. So theclevelandcrunch.com/tickets. Single game tickets are on sale. The home opener on January the 10th. Your next game is actually next weekend. You'll be going to Fort Wayne, taking on the Summit City Sentinels. What can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming opponent, Summit City Sentinels?
Yeah, so again, they came to the league last year, I believe, and stuff. Didn't have quite the best record and everything like that. But they've actually, like I said, same thing with Red Cedar. They've made some changes to their roster and their lineup and things like that. So they're definitely looking to improve. I think they were in a battle actually against Pittsburgh. I don't know how they lost, but again, let's talk about indoor. There was like 3 goals in like a minute 30 just from set pieces, from power plays, things like that. So indoor has lots of goals, and you can never take your eye off of it for sure. So they scored that many and lost again. I think they lost by 1 and were winning with 1 minute left, like I said a minute before. So they're definitely getting better and stuff like that. But this is one of my games that I'm going to be bringing some rookies and everything too to get some experience. I think it's a good, I wouldn't say easing game into it and things like that, but it's definitely to get some guys some experience and stuff. A shift here, shift there and stuff. And might be a bit slower paced from them. So definitely looking to get some young guys some experience in this kind of game and hopefully put in some goals and work on some things that we need to work on.
Right.
Yeah, no. The one thing I wanted to ask, because you guys had some time off, obviously, since your last game against Lansing. What's your thought process going into a game when you have so much time off? I mean, it's going to be almost a week and a half, 2 weeks now that you're going to have so much time off. What goes into your game plans saying like, listen, we've had this time off. We're bringing a bunch of rookies or new players into the game. We're facing a bunch of guys who we didn't see last year in Fort Wayne. What all goes into your thought process and how you're going to game plan around, your opponent?
Yeah, so I think I'm very happy with this break from that first game. I think it was good to get our feet wet, get that game under our belt, take care of business stuff. But there's still so much that we need to work on, and there's so many things like plays and set pieces and power plays, power kills, top of the box. We have so much to work on. So I was kind of happy that we were able to get a little bit of a break so we can get a little bit more preparations for the upcoming ones. So I think we have another break in between this next week. I believe so as well too. So again, I'm gonna take this one happily for sure, just because we have so much to still work on and whatnot and stuff, and just to be fine tuned up for later down stretch in the season and whatnot. So definitely happy with it. More preparation time for us, and I think that we'll be ready going forward afterwards for sure.
Right, and so obviously, if people who have been following the Crunch, they're going to know the guys they know. They're going to know the Suljevic. They're going to know Piwu and Spragling and Derizic. They're going to know those guys. Who should we be watching out for this season that maybe isn't as well known?
I mean, we got a couple of good guys off the tryouts, the local tryouts. Actually, we got a couple. I think this kid's name, I don't know. Actually, it's kind of bad. Don't know his last name right now. His name is Landon, and I have high hopes for him. He's been doing really well at training. He's a quick learner and things like that and stuff like that. So he's going to be getting some time this game in Fort Wayne. So it's something to definitely check out. Definitely one of the players to check out for sure. There's so many young guys. Tomas is another player. He reached out to me. I think he was from Rochester, and I'm very happy they was able to come to the squad because I think some of the guys already know him, and he's another good player who knows a bit more of the indoor game. He has to adjust to our style and everything like that, but that's another good pickup. But he has some playing experience already for sure in the indoor game, which helps out a lot too for sure. So he's another one to definitely be looking out for too.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of young guys and stuff. We changed out, not changed out, but rosters change every year, everything like that. But we definitely brought in some really good young talent and stuff. And even the guys from last year to this year are looking to make the jump and stuff. And like I said, it takes around that year or so, get used to the system, used to the board, used to the runs and stuff. So definitely looking forward to to continued progress from the guys that we have from the years before too as well.
Fantastic. So I was just going to ask you, we are just about at the half-hour mark here, and so I wanted to ask you just one quick question here, kind of to get us closed out. For your mere pastime playing, did you have a favorite song or arena tune that they would play while you were running? I mean, I remember, going to a lot of Canton Invader games, and they'd be playing the Miami Sound Machine. Come on, baby, let me play that conga any longer. I mean, is there a tune that you hear, you as a player, as a coach, that gets you pumped up while things are going?
Not actually during the game. I actually can't really hear too much during the game when I'm in the zone and everything like that. But there's one song that I absolutely hate, and it's from Baltimore Blast, and it's Celebration, because we freaking lost to them for 3 years in a row, and we could never get over the hump to beat Baltimore. And I absolutely hate that song. I hate it. Even when I played there for a little bit there, I hated it. I'm like, this doesn't feel right, because I always lose to you guys and everything like that. But I hate it. Absolutely hate that Celebration song, because they always played it when they beat us. And I just remember going back to the locker room and that song just blasting. So hate that one. But
and that is, I understand the association there, but you can't hate Cool in the Gang, though. Cool in the Gang.
I know. But that's the only thing I think about is losing to Baltimore. That's the only thing. Great jam, though. Hate it for that reason, though.
It is a great jam. They're gonna have to make sure they get some of the old tunes when you guys are playing at the Wolstein Center here. Maybe, do you think Dancing Guy will be there? Do you know who I'm talking about when I mentioned Dancing Guy? Who used to sit behind the one goal, like off to the side, and he'd be like dancing, doing a move up there. You know who I'm talking about? Every time they show highlights on the local news, he was on.
There we go. We need him back for sure. We need that.
Absolutely need him. Well, Andrew, I wanted to let you, if you have any more questions here for Coach, I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Oh, well, I just got one. This is just going to be a fun question. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Favorite player growing up? I'm a Messi fan through and through. I know everyone's a Messi fan now because he came here to U.S. and everything like that. But I love it. I think he moves different. I think he just I honestly think he's not from this world. I'm not joking. Like, I think that someone's brought him down or he's a god or something. I genuinely believe it. He's like a man amongst boys with everybody, because just the way he moves, the way he controls the ball, the way he even just glides throughout the field and stuff is unbelievable. And it's the eye test for me. The Ronaldo Messi debate for me is not a debate. I never thought it was. I think Ronaldo's a fantastic goal scorer, but I just think Messi just moves in a different way than everybody else I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, so. That's okay. That's all right. Harry Kane's better. It's all right. No, just I don't know. I just thought to throw that in there, to kind of mess with you a little bit there. All right, guys. Now, once again, Coach, thank you so much for being on. Again, everybody, remember, single game tickets are on sale. Go to theclevelandcrunch.com/tickets. And be sure to get your tickets. Head out to the Wolstein Center. The home opener is on January 10th against the Chicago Mustangs. The Crunch will be back in action next weekend as they head to Fort Wayne to take on the Summit City Sentinels. Again, want to thank our guest, Coach Manfut, and also want to let you know, stay tuned. Keep an eye on the news. This program will hopefully be appearing on WOVU 95.9 FM in the near future, but we'll keep you posted. Watch all the social media. Check out the Land Media Group. Check out the Let's Go Crunch podcast and all of our socials, as we will post things there for you. So once again, want to also thank our behind-the-scenes producer, Michael Wilkes. Thank you for being with us. Appreciate that, as always. So for Coach Manfut or Andrew Hagenbaugh, I'm Ethan Greenberg, and you have been tuned in to the Let's Go Crunch podcast here on the Land Media Group.